perfect for cooking rice.
A lot of wood would just rot it away. Creosote is dangerous, and so
we're just trying to get by, you know. Okay?
It becomes a lot more difficult to identify. This piece is just shorter than the length of my pipes.
You are free មកបណ្ដោយបងប្អូន
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today what we got going on is wood restock day. And so usually that happens about once, maybe twice a year, depending on how much wood we go through in the wintertime. And so what I've got going on today is during the summer, we had a nice big pile of wood that we got from various sources for free, actually. Good hardwood, bunch of maple. And so what I'm doing is I'm getting ready to go through and process it, meaning that I gotta figure out the pieces that need to be cut shorter and cut them, and then I got to get the pieces that are big and get them split. So the way that I went about doing that, or I'm going about doing that, is I measured our fireplace, and our fireplace is actually kind of shaped like a V shape. And so at the most inner part, at the shortest part, it's 18 inches, and at the widest part, it's about 24 inches. So what I did was I went in and cut a piece of scrap PVC pipe that I happen to have at 18 inches. So I know that if a piece is roughly about this size, it will fit inside my fireplace with no problem. So I'm going through all of the wood that we got pre-cut, and I'll basically measure it up. And so as you can see, this is just slightly bigger by a couple inches, but I know that it's still going to fit because the upper side is an additional 6 inches. And this might not fit all the way in the back of the stove, but I know it's close enough that it will fit in the front of the stove with no problem. Whereas say like this piece is just shorter than the length of my pipe, so I know that this piece will be fit in there with absolutely no problem. So this entire pile here is a pile of pieces that we should not have to cut shorter for them to be able to be split and fit inside the fireplace. Whereas this pile over here, as you can see, this is more than 6 inches from the edge of my pipe. So this piece, even if we split it, would not fit in the fireplace. So this pile here are similar pieces in nature. So I'm getting them set up, and I know that these are ones that I'm going to have to cut in half before we split them to make sure that we don't have any size issues. So I'm currently going through and separating the pile, and I'm almost done, as you can see there. But that's what part of the process is. And then of course we have a third pile, which is over here, and these are pieces that are shorter enough that will fit inside with no problem and don't need to be split. So like this piece is short enough and small enough that it can go into the fireplace as is. I don't need to cut it in half or anything else like that. Same thing, things like, you know, these little guys that are a little bit bigger than kindling but aren't big enough to need to be split. Some of the smaller pieces would be good for, you know, when you're just building your fire, but some of these bigger pieces you would want to let the fire get established before you start throwing those in whole. But for the most part, like I said, the main thing is they're small enough that they'll be about the same size as one of the bigger pieces when we split it. Like this one. So we did get a lot of free wood. So like this piece here, this is a cherry tree, which is good. I'll use this for not for burning for heat. I like to do a lot of smoking for like smoked meats and whatnot. And cherry is one of my favorite woods to use. So I'll save this for that. But this wood, sometimes when you get it, the person you get it from doesn't really know exactly what kind of wood it is. And especially when the bark is gone, it becomes a lot more difficult to identify what kind of wood it is. From the looks of it, it looks like some type of a hardwood, but I don't know, to be 100% honest. And all this right here, this is actually mushroom mycelium. That's what this stuff is.
Ooh, let's keep that one. But maybe we can get.
Yeah, but it's probably this just shelf mushrooms. So so with that, we also have an outdoor wood burning pit that we like to use for, like, you know, campfires and doing s'mores and stuff like that. So any wood that we get, that soft wood, so like your pine, and then wood that I don't know what it is, that will go to that pile. And so that piece right there I'll probably leave for that pile. And because like I said, it's not that you can't burn softwood in your indoor fireplace, but the difference is the softwood produces a lot more creosote, and creosote is dangerous. And so the you know, just to air, if you have the ability to burn hardwood over softwood, they recommend burning hardwood just because it makes it burns more completely and leaves a lot less creosote buildup, and that's what you want. And always recommend wearing gloves, guys, especially because like this wood has been setting for, you know, months. I think we got this back in probably like April or May or so, maybe even a little earlier. So with that being said, I've seen tons and tons of centipedes, worms, which I don't really care too much about, and same thing with the pill bugs or the potato bugs or whatever you want to call them. But it's the spiders and the potentiality of snakes that you really want to be careful with, because this is the type of environment that those two things in particular they really like. And I've seen a whole bunch of spiders. But typically, I mean, as you start moving logs around, they generally are going to vacate the area, but you just have to be cognizant of it. And again, I mean, just moving the wood is rough on your hands anyway, but having that extra layer of protection between you and a potential bug bite is definitely worth it in my mind.
Or even poison ivy that's hidden somewhere in there.
Yeah, that's true too. You could get into some type of poison ivy or
poison oak.
You know, poison oak, or there could be
white caterpillar.
One of the white caterpillars,
yeah,
or one of the furry caterpillars. I mean, so there's lots of stuff that is definitely worth wearing gloves for to protect your hands. Now, I will say too, shame on us, because really this time of year, it's coming up on mid-September, and it's not that you can't burn unseasoned wood, but seasoned wood burns better. It burns cleaner, it burns hotter, it burns more completely, and it produces less creosote. So really, really what we should have done is right when we got this, we should have processed it right then. But the problem for us was you don't know when you're going to get free firewood. And so when we got it was in the middle of when we were trying to get all of our gardening and stuff prepped and ready to go. And so we just kept, oh, we got time, and kept pushing it back on the priority list. Well, now here we are in September processing it. Where we're at, we usually, based off of the last 2 years, we haven't really started a fire yet until normally about mid to the end November. So we still have probably a good 2 months or so before our first fire, and we do have a nice big stack of firewood that's going to hopefully take us a month or two to burn through before we start getting into this stuff. So at the very least, we should be able to get this a good 4 or 5 months additional of seasoning prior to us actually burning it. So,
well, we're in Maryland, so it's a hit and miss winter as well.
Winter could come super early, but the last 2 years it came, well, I shouldn't say it came, it didn't get cold enough for us to really need to start a fire until about mid-November.
I can't say the same thing if you're in Boston.
Yeah, well, just based off of how far north we are.
Yep. So,
but the more time you give your firewood to season, the better.
That's good.
So we'll, you know, hopefully next year when we start getting our firewood, we won't wait as long to process it and let it have that much more time to season. So we laid down some pallets, as you can see, and then while we're waiting, we like to stack the woods on top of the pallets, just because that puts an air layer between the bottom of the wood for the most part and the ground, and that helps prevent the wood from rotting while it's sitting here waiting for us to get to it to cut it.
Because last year we didn't put it and it was rotten.
Yeah, a lot of wood would just rotted away, sadly,
but this year we got smart.
So this is what happens when you don't have the air barrier of the pallet. So you can see, I mean, obviously a whole bunch of mud is collecting on this, but even here, this is where the wood's starting to rot away because of all the moisture and the worms getting into it and so on and so forth. So that's why you always want to have something. You want to have your wood elevated up off the ground. Pallets usually work really well, but you know, keep in mind you do have to replace the pallets from time to time because they themselves are made out of wood. So
but they're free. But they're free, so
yeah,
who cares?
I mean, it's not that hard. When you see that one needs to be replaced, you just get a free one and replace it. So it's not too big of a deal.
ឈើនេះពួកខ្ញុំដាក់នៅលើដីដើម្បីឲ្យជួយកុំឲ្យអស់នឹងវារលួយបងប្អូនបើយើងដាក់អស់នឹងឲ្យអត់មានអីដូចថាទ្រាប់នៅលើដីអញ្ចឹងអស់នឹងអាចរលួយបានមកពី មកពីយើងដាក់នៅលើដីហើយវាភ្ជាប់ដីហើយទៅពេលទៅភ្លៀងអីទៅទឹកមកចចាច់ចឹងធ្វើឲ្យអស់វារលាយរលុះជ្រុះអស់ហើយយ៉ាប់មែនតែនចូលឆ្នាំនេះពួកខ្ញុំឆ្លាតបន្តិចពួកខ្ញុំបានគេហៅឈើរៀនហ្នឹងបានមកពី Facebook គេចោលនៅអាមេរិកនេះគេចោលរបស់របរច្រើនមែនទែនយើងមិនចាំទិញគេបើយើងរក្សាមើលនៅ Facebook ខ្លះគេឲ្យ free សិតអីតេច្រើន so ពួកខ្ញុំបានរៀនឈើហ្នឹងយកមក free ហើយយកមកដាក់ធ្វើរៀនហើយដាក់អស់នៅលើកុំឲ្យអស់ហ្នឹងវាលលួយ so មានអីឆ្លាតគួរសមដែរដល់ពេលវាមានលលួយចឹងទៅវាមិនសូវមានសត្វច្រើនសត្វល្អិតហើយចលែនអីនៅលើវាលេលាក់ខ្ពើមែនទែនឆ្នាំមុនពួកខ្ញុំថ្មីបងប្អូនពួកខ្ញុំមូមកពី California ហើយពួកខ្ញុំអត់សូវដឹងរឿងឬថានៅតាមជនបទគេធ្វើមិនគេកាត់អស់ពួកខ្ញុំរៀនរហូតឥឡូវនេះឆ្លាតតិចហើយបើយើងអ្នកថ្មីយើងមិនសូវចេះដឹងទេយើងធ្វើអ្វីលើកទី1ខុសណារឿងវាមិនត្រូវមិនស្រួលហ្មងទេដល់ពេលយើងធ្វើទៅយើងនៅយូរទៅយើងធ្លាប់ទៅយើងចេះដឹងល្បិចរបៀបហើយការរស់នៅគេហើយអ្នកជិតខាងក៏គេប្រាប់ដែរទៅយើងរៀនទៅយើងចេះដឹងខ្លះចូលឆ្នាំនេះពួកខ្ញុំរៀងស្រួលបន្តិចពីរឿងអស់អញ្ចឹងណាជីវិតជនបទនៅស្រុកអាមេរិកនៅ Maryland កាលពួកខ្ញុំនៅ California ពួកខ្ញុំមិនដែលធ្វើរឿងចេះឬក៏ធ្វើអ្វីដែលថាអស់កម្លាំងចេះបងប្អូនដល់ពេលបើសិនខែត្រជាក់គេមានម៉ាស៊ីនបើក hit យើងគ្រាន់តែចុចលេខទៅចុច on ទៅបើកខ្លួនឯងឥឡូវនេះមកនេះពួកខ្ញុំមានអញ្ចឹងដែរ we have central heat and AC as well but we prefer to use wood. It's a lot warmer. It's
and a whole lot less expensive.
Yes. So ពួកខ្ញុំមានម៉ាស៊ីន we have AC and heater but this is perfect for us. ហើយក៏ជួយហាត់ប្រាណ help us, basically work out a little bit. ឥឡូវនេះពួកខ្ញុំនឹងរើហើយដាក់ទុកអស់ណាត្រូវកាប់អស់ណាត្រូវពុះហើយនឹងអស់ណាត្រូវយកទៅទុកមកកន្លែងដើម្បីដុតនៅខាងក្រៅផ្ទះមានខ្លះណាមានអស់ដែលថាมันអាចដុតខាងក្នុងបានមកពីចេញផ្សែងមកស្អិតដែរហើយខូចចក្រានយើងណាសូឥឡូវនេះគ្រួសារខ្ញុំនឹងរៀបចំហើយដើម្បីកុំឲ្យយ៉ាប់ដល់ពេលខែត្រជាក់មកដល់ពេលយើងមិនរៀបចំឥឡូវទេខែត្រជាក់មកយើងនឹងយ៉ាប់ខ្លួនហើយបងប្អូនធ្វើនៅខាងក្រៅហើយល្ងាហើយហត់អស់កម្លាំងឥឡូវនេះគឺជាចិត្តដល់រដូវផ្ការុះផ្ការយហើយខែខាងក្រៅនេះមិនសូវក្តៅប្រហែលទេហើយអស់នេះពួកខ្ញុំអត់ទិញគេទេ summer នេះពួកខ្ញុំទៅយកពីគេថាគេចោលគេកាត់អស់ហើយគេកាត់ដើមឈើហើយគេត្រូវការចោលគេដាក់នៅក្នុង Facebook សួរណាគេថាចង់បានអត់ដល់ពេលយើងចង់បានយើងទៅយកឡាន truck ហើយយើងទៅដឹកយកមកក៏ប៉ុន្តែឆ្នាំមុនពួកខ្ញុំទិញអស់គេដាក់ដុតអស់នឹងច្រើននឹងមួយឆ្នាំនឹងច្រើនហើយអស់រីគួរសមដែរឆ្នាំនេះពួកខ្ញុំឆ្លាតបន្តិចយកអស់ free មកបណ្ដោយបងប្អូនក៏ប៉ុន្តែរៀងហត់នៅបន្តិចក៏ប៉ុន្តែមិនអីទេមិនសូវអស់លុយប្រហែលអូខេឥឡូវនេះសូមមេត្តាជួយទស្សនាថែមទៀតទៅហើយបើសិនជាអ្នកថ្មីសូមជួយចុចកណ្ដឹងហើយ subscribe channel ខ្ញុំមួយមក please don't forget to like share and subscribe. This is we're just living in a country, just trying to
Heat the house for free.
try to heat the house for free basically. It's freaking cold in the winter time. The chipment then like we got snow and stuff and we're just trying to get by, កុំឲ្យត្រជាក់រឹងរឹងធ្គាមអូខេឥឡូវនេះជីវិតយើងនៅអាមេរិកចេះអីបងប្អូនការពិតនៅស្រុកខ្មែរខ្ញុំដឹងខ្ញុំមានអ្នក follow ខ្ញុំពី3អ្នកថានៅស្រុកខ្មែរអស់អញ្ចេះគឺជា perfect for cooking rice គេថាអស់អញ្ចេះឬក៏អស់ដាំបាយមែនទេក៏ប៉ុន្តែនៅស្រុកអាមេរិកនេះគេអត់ដាំបាយនឹងអស់ទេបងប្អូនគេយកអស់ទៅដុតដើម្បីកម្ដៅខ្លួននៅរដូវខែត្រជាក់ធ្លាក់តកកធ្លាក់ព្រិលអញ្ចឹងណាយើងនៅរស់នៅនេះរឿងប្លែកពីស្រុកខ្មែរបន្តិចក៏ប៉ុន្តែអស់នេះគឺជាអាចដាំបានបើសិនជាយើងចង់ដាំនៅក្រៅអីក៏ប៉ុន្តែខែត្រជាក់ដាំអត់កើតទេបងប្អូនត្រជាក់ណាស់រឹងកចេញមកស្រាតក so ឥឡូវនេះ Chim chong behind cái lại như tha cõi tiệc nhom nâu ní bận tích. Just want to show you our basically country living. This is my neighbor's yard. And chaka khang kroi ni cứ chia pteh nek chit khangរបស់ខ្ញុំគេមាន2 3 4 5 6 hectare ម្នាក់ So that's a lawn. And during the weekend they all come and mow their yard, their grass. So that's why every time we're trying to do videos on the weekend, we always hear lawnmower, and that's the reason, because we don't do anything special during the weekend. We're just kind of take care of our property and cut the lawn so that we don't have ticks and snakes. ត្រូវតែកាត់ស្មៅបងប្អូនខែពេលខែថ្ងៃអាទិត្យឬក៏ថ្ងៃសៅរ៍អញ្ចឹងត្រូវតែកាត់ស្មៅមកពីខ្លាចមានពស់ឬក៏មានសត្វល្អិតអីចឹងច្រើនណានៅក្នុងស្មៅ So ធម្មតាពួកខ្ញុំធ្វើវីដេអូឬសូរសំឡេងគេកាត់ស្មៅអាហ្នឹងអ្នកជិតខាងកាត់ឬក៏ប្តីខ្ញុំគាត់កាត់ស្មៅ What kind of wood is this, babe?
Maple.
Oh, okay, so this is maple wood. I don't know what it's called in English, in Khmer. Yeah, I don't know what's called in Khmer, so that's maple. How heavy is it, babe?
It's heavy. It's a hardwood, so it's dense.
It
burns a little less hot, but it burns a lot longer.
Yeah, it's gonna be great because we now have the insert fire stove. ពួកខ្ញុំមានចក្រានហើយអស់នេះមកពីអស់នេះគេហៅប្រហែលអស់ក្លឹមខ្ញុំមិនដឹងទេមេពោខែខ្មែរគេហៅឈើក្លឹមមិនដឹងទេខ្ញុំប្រហែលប្រើពាក្យខុសណាបងប្អូនដុតវាមិនសូវឆេះលឿនណាយើងដុតទៅវានៅក្តៅងុំហើយវានៅឆេះនឹងយូរបានវាអស់ What happens when you try to garden?
Yeah, that's what happens when you try to use your fence as a lattice for tomatoes, because then they start growing into your wood pile.
Hey, are there any good ones so maybe you can harvest this? Oh, there's some ripe ones. បងប្អូនអើយ ចាដាំទៅពេលថ្ងៃណាតនេល្អឯងឬក៏ចង់ស្លអីមកបេះមកទៅពេលថ្ងៃណាខ្ជិលទុកឲ្យវាលលួយអញ្ចឹងទៅ Look at. Oh, this one is I was trying to get this one last time but I couldn't get it because the wood was in it. But I think it's still good. នៅល្អតើបងប្អូន This is so delicious. Are you ready for winter, babe?
Getting there. Actually, I like winter, so I'm anxious for it to arrive.
We don't have to deal with the humidity, right?
No humidity. I prefer the cold weather over the hot weather.
Oh no! Well, the sad part is you won't be able to do garden anymore. We're gonna have really not any more garden videos to show our audience anymore.
Well, true, unless we start prepping some stuff for miniature greenhouses.
Can you harvest that for me, please? I have the camera.
You want these green ones?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
I'd rather keep them and have them ripe on us, and then instead of waste it when we.
This one too?
Yeah, just maybe harvest all of it. Where are the kids anyway? They should be out here helping.
So you want these ones harvested too?
Yeah. If you can't harvest all of it, let me go get a container. គ្រាន់បើដែរបងប្អូនកុំឲ្យគេរើអស់ទៅវាបែកអស់ហើយយើងបេះយកទៅទុកញ៉ាំកុំឲ្យខាតបងប្អូនយើងខំដាំI need to get a thing with plumber. I need to get a holder. That should be good for now. We're going to go get some more.
I bet you're going to get a container.
Oh, the kids can get me a container. យើងមានកូនយើងត្រូវតែប្រើកូនណាបងប្អូន I see my awesome neighbor over there. He's just walking, checking his beautiful lawn. Gorgeous lawn. Hi, Gary. I don't think maybe he could. He might.
Did you wave?
No, maybe he did not hear me. He's far out there. Yeah, we're just so blessed to have Gary in our lives, that's for sure. តានឹងអ្នកជិតខាងនឹងគាត់លុយមែនទែនគាត់70ជាងហើយណា70ចូល8ហើយណាបងប្អូនអ៊ុយនៅមានកម្លាំងមកពីគាត់ទុកខ្លួនឯងគាត់ល្អឯងគាត់ធ្វើនេះធ្វើនោះទៅកុំឲ្យរាងកាយគាត់ដូចថាគ្រប់គ្រងI have to រាងកាយត្រុតត្រោម There we go. cook them. It's all like you don't even have to put force into it. It's all dry.
It was a little more force. That's how far down it's
Oh. You shouldn't even tell me. You should say, yeah, I'm strong.
It's not even cut. I wouldn't even try it.
Hurt yourself for no good reason. Goes right on the grass. You're gonna save those. They're good and solid. Put it with lọc lạ. Làm chiu. Pin po chau rồi pin po chay. It's alright. Không thấu. Save the plant.